Well, this is a first time for Back to the Bullpen, a World Series preview like no other. I've got World Series champion, three-time World Series champion, Mike Stanton here as my co-host, and we're going to break down the Blue Jays versus the Dodgers, Ohtani versus Guerrero, Gausman versus Yamamoto. Oh, and there's another guy, George Springer, y'all might be familiar with. Let's get started right now.
I'm looking to the bullpen to bring my lefty in. Keep the lead and make your team look pedestrian. It's in your wheelhouse, we'll swing for the fence. You know it's money around here, man, I ain't talking expense. Strike one, heat low in the way, you can't hit it. You know you want to start a rally, but you better forget it. Strike two, off speed, same spot, your car looking. Get ready at the plate, this time you're not cooking. Strike three, swinging out of the zone. You ain't even touch it first. Tell me how they gonna drive you home. Walk it back, looking like we ain't cool then. The game's over, might as well put them back to the bullpen, oh yeah.
Well, Mike, we're bringing you back to the Bullpen postseason edition, and we're not biased, or I'm not biased at all in this commentary tonight. We're here to talk about the Blue Jays versus the Dodgers, and I've got a man sitting next to me that's been doing this with me for 2 years on this show, who has actually played in the postseason, who has won World Series championships. I've attended one clinching game. Okay. And so that's about as close as I got. Mike, tell everybody where they can find you, sir.
Yeah, there's only one place, and that is on X, and it's Mike Stanton 29. You see it right down there at the bottom below my name. And listen, this should be fun. I mean, I think this is a lot closer series than what people think. You know, the way the Dodgers kind of just steamrolled the Brewers. And you know, you look at the Brewers, the best record in baseball, 97 wins. But they just were nothing for the Dodgers, who finally got healthy. But we're going to take a little bit deeper look. And I think this is a little closer series than a lot of people think.
Yeah. And you know, in a World Series, you want that. You want it to go, like you said, you want chaos.
7.
You want it to go to game 7.
That's
not
right.
4, not 5, not 6. I mean, you know, I was not upset when I was in attendance when the Astros won in game 6 in the 2022 World Series. Got to experience that with my son. That was amazing. But, you know, people that have been our most loyal fans to this point, Astros fans will be happy to know that George Springer, you know, helped eliminate the Mariners. Miles Straw is on the team. Once, you know, beloved rookie Joey Loperfido, who actually got to be one of the first people to interview him after he was drafted out of Duke. And then you've got the Dodgers. They've got a former Astro, Kiki Hernandez.
Yeah.
But he's probably not. You probably couldn't go to LA and say, "Who's your favorite former Astro?" Kiki Hernandez. You'd be like, no, he's a Dodger for life. But you know, Mike, you've played in Rogers Center, and you've played. Have you played postseason ball in Rogers Center?
Oh yeah,
that's right.
Back when it was relatively new. We have to go all the way back to the 1992 World Series.
Wow.
Which 93 was the last time they were in the series. They went to back-to-back and actually won back-to-back. I was with Atlanta at the time, 92. I'm sorry. And we ended up losing that World Series. But Rogers Center was it was new, still had the wrapper on it. But the one thing that is the same now as it was back then, when the Blue Jays are good, the Canadian fan, the Blue Jays fans, the Canadians, man, they come out of the woodworks and they support that team very well. That is a tough place to play, and the Toronto Blue Jays really feed off that energy.
Yeah, and you know, speaking of Canadian teams, when Montreal, before the strike, they were killed by baseball, and I haven't seen that little expose they did on it. But man, when you dive into the Montreal fans, I mean, they are, I think basically what they are is they're starved hockey fans, maybe. And I mean, if you know anything about NHL hockey, or if you've been to a hockey game, that is quite the sporting event. And that's why I really want Houston to grab a team. But the Dodgers are, you know what, I actually have not updated our background here, because we've got to talk about the different aspects of the series and who we think has the advantage, who doesn't have the advantage, so on and so forth. And so at first, what we want to do is we want to look at the starting pitching. The Dodgers all year had injury issues, had
Yeah.
all kinds of things going on, and Blake Snell, Yamamoto have come in and they are killing it in this postseason. Their starters are 7-1, Mike, with the 1.40 ERA. That's one of the 5 lowest ERAs in all of Major League Baseball history in the World Series or postseason. 81 strikeouts. But Blake Snell, 0.86 ERA over 21 playoff innings. I mean, this guy is out to show everybody why you should never pull him early in a World Series game.
Well, I mean, listen, you look at what he's done this year, and that's what you have to go by. He has been nothing short of spectacular. And actually, their whole rotation has been. And you don't put up numbers like you were just stating by just having 1 or 2 guys pitch well.
True.
Blake Snell, the crazy thing is Blake Snell's going deep into the ball games. That has been the knock on Blake really his whole career. He's got the 2 Cy Youngs, but other than those 2 years, he's been a pretty mediocre pitcher. And the biggest issue he's had is just putting the ball in the strike zone. He's always had tremendous stuff, but he just throws too many pitches. He can't get extended. And you go all the way back to the Tampa Bay Devil Ray days when he was a starter there. So he was a 5 and dive guy, and everyone said, "Well, is that just because of Blake, or is that because of the Tampa Bay Devil Rays?" Well, it ended up being, everybody thought it was the organization. It wasn't. It was Blake. Blake just could not put the ball in the zone enough to go deep into the games. Had a couple pretty good, or had 2 really good seasons. Ends up winning 2 Cy Youngs. But other than that, just never has been able to get extended. Well, he has done just that in this postseason. And here's the thing: Dave Roberts, manager of the Los Angeles Dodgers, is doing something that seems to be completely against the norm, against the usual, against the DNA of the Los Angeles Dodgers, which is rely on your starting pitching. I still go back to the 2017 World Series. I think the Dodgers, where they lost that series, was in Game 2 when they took Rich Hill out in the 5th inning because he had already gone through the lineup 2 times, and they started the revolving door coming out of the bullpen. And by the time you got to Game 6, in that series, tapped out. The Dodgers bullpen was tapped out. They were overexposed. Everybody and they were very, very good that year, the bullpen. But anybody and everybody can suffer from overexposure and fatigue. And I think that's really that led to the Astros winning the World Series, because if you go back and you look at it, the Astros beat up on that Dodgers bullpen. Well, coming into this postseason, the Dodgers' number 1 problem, their Achilles heel, was their bullpen. Still is their bullpen, but it has not been overexposed. They have really relied on the starting pitching. Now, they've gotten healthy in their rotation, so that really helps greatly, of course. Okay, but you look at how many. Yamamoto threw a complete game, gave up a couple runs, but threw a complete game. If you just go back last year, Max Scherzer, who's now on the Toronto team, the Blue Jays. You remember seeing clips of him in the bullpen and in the dugout going, "Wait, you're pulling me? I've only gone 5 innings." But the rule was, we're going through the lineup 2 times, and then you're getting taken out. We're going to the bullpen. So it's kind of against the DNA of the Dodgers to do what they're doing, which is relying heavily on the starting pitching. And so far, the starting pitching has not faltered.
No, exactly. And I mean, we mentioned the 2 guys that have really shined, but you also have Tyler Glasnow,
filthy,
Shohei Ohtani, who just had the best playoff performance ever. And what's funny is those are kind of the guys that are, and they're your main guys, but they're not your main guys. If this series,
they don't have an ace.
True.
They have a 1A.
Blake Snell is the closest.
They have a
I think
1C.
I think Snell is the closest you get to an ace because of the way he's performing right now. But then Yamamoto's right there with him.
Yeah.
You have very good pitching, but I think the advantage goes to the Dodgers if it comes down to starting pitching. Now,
I don't think there's any doubt.
right.
I don't think, yeah, when you compare the two, and that's not to take anything away from the Toronto Blue Jays,
Right.
but I mean, you got Savage going in game 1. Now he's been great, but he came out of spring training in A ball.
Yeah.
Okay. I mean, you're talking now, the stuff plays, and he's got the ability. So he has never faced the Dodgers, which if he's throwing strikes, that goes in his favor. Okay. And if he's got control of that split finger fastball, he can be as devastating as any one of the Dodgers starting pitchers. So what have we seen Savage do this year or this postseason? He's had 2 really good games, and he's had 1 really bad game. So
right.
it's, we should be able to tell in the first inning whether Savage has it or not.
Yeah, exactly. When you look at who the Blue Jays have in Gausman, Savage, you did mention Scherzer, who, was
pitched well.
The coach tried to pull him, and he's like, "No, let me finish."
Yeah, Mad Max showed up.
Mad Max
showed up, and which is fine. That's exactly what you want. You don't want your pitchers to want to be taken out of the ball game. You may maybe not scream at your manager, but hey, you know what? You got Max Scherzer on there. That's kind of what's expected.
And the manager joked a little bit. He was like, "Yeah, I thought he was going to kill me."
If he reached out for the ball, he might have at least come back a bloody stump.
Exactly. And he said he looked at me with his one blue eye and his one brown eye.
Yeah.
And said, "I'm not coming out."
But Max pitched well, 5 2/3.
No, he did.
He threw well. Well. He threw the ball well. So can they do what they did against the Dodgers offense? Sure they can. So, the advantage definitely goes to the Dodgers in the rotation, but that doesn't take away, this Blue Jays team, they're tested here in the postseason.
Yeah.
And so I think that, they got a chance to put up zeros just like the other guys do.
Now, when we talk about, and I mean, we'll get to the offenses in a second, would the Dodgers offensive game plan for Savage be to be more patient because he's a rookie and he's trying to find the strike zone, or would it be to rush the fastball, rush the early pitches? Like, I know every situation's unique and different.
Yeah.
But what do you think? Let's say you're game planning with the team. Are you telling your team, look, first fastball we see in the zone, swing at it, or let's be patient, let's let him find it, and maybe he's too ramped up and missing the zone?
Yeah, well, the thing that the Blue Jays have is they're not a big swing and miss team. Okay, if they didn't lead the major leagues, they were among one of the top 2 or 3 teams in contact rate. So, this is not you look at the Dodgers on the other side. The Dodgers, they have some swing and miss, but I think you have to be patient a little bit. Let the kid make the mistakes. That the split finger is coming if he gets ahead. So if you want to hunt the fastball, that's fine. But every hitter has their own approach. And if you try and change that, you remember in spring training a couple of years ago, they tried to get Jose Altuve to be more patient. And It was a freaking disaster, because they tried to change who he was. And what you say is, okay, you know what, Jose, you go out and be Jose. And then he was just fine. So I think you have to do the same thing. You keep your own approach. There's not going to be any secrets as far as what he's going to throw. The secrets are going to be, where is his release point?
Right.
What is the spin on his breaking ball? What kind of shape does the breaking ball have? Same thing with the split finger fastball. Can he throw it for a strike, or is it always down below the zone? Those are the kind of things that you look for, but you still got to see the ball. You still got to hit the ball. And since they have no experience whatsoever against Savage, if he's in the strike zone and getting ahead in the count, he's got the advantage.
I hear you. Now, before we move to the bullpen, or as we move into the bullpen, does Clayton Kershaw get some bullpen innings?
He may. I mean, the crazy thing is, you talk about Clayton and, oh, well, the only reason he's on the, he's on the roster is because he is. I mean, the dude had like a 3.1 ERA this year. It's not like
Yeah.
he was,
Terrible.
he's there just to be there. He's actually can get some guys out. I don't see him, getting leverage innings, but if you have one of these starting pitchers that has to come out in the 5th inning, you may be down by a run or two. Yeah, why not run Clayton out there and let him get an inning or two in to save, your leverage guys? Because again, this is a 7-game series, and you want to try and save but you want to win every game you can, but you don't want to run your leverage guys out there and overexpose them and get them tired when you think it could be a long series, just simply to do it. That's why you have 12, 13 guys on your pitching staff.
So when I'm looking at these bullpens, the more taxed bullpen would be the Blue Jays, because obviously they've had to rely on them more. Where the Dodgers, like you had mentioned, Dave Roberts has relied on the starters, a little bit of, anti-modern baseball, because modern baseball is all about get that guy out there, like you said, 2 times through. You've got Roki Sasaka, who has been really good.
Yeah.
Blake Trinan's not really a guy that you're going to rely on. He's just not having great success. But if they're relying on their starters, you don't really have to worry about your bullpen, especially if your offense follows suit and puts crooked numbers on the board.
Yeah. Well, that's what the Dodgers game plan has been this postseason is, try and really stay away from the bullpen. Can you do that? Well, they've been able to do it for the most part. But Blake Trinan is a guy that's having a tough time getting the ball in the strike zone, doesn't exactly know where the ball's going. Now he's had some success. Sasaki's been outstanding, except for the one game there in Milwaukee that they had to pull him. But other than that, he has been great. But, you're talking about a guy that was sent down earlier this year. You're talking about a guy that was really a starting pitcher. That just shows how they feel about the rest of the bullpen. Now they got guys like Vesa, who has thrown the ball well. I mean, they've got some guys down there, but long series, you let your left-handed hitters see you let your hitters see those relievers, man. The likelihood of them getting them out consistently goes down significantly with each pitch that they see. And that's either side. That's not just the Dodgers bullpen. That's the Toronto Blue Jays bullpen also.
Definitely. And so just to tie the bow, I think someone might have come in a little bit after we discussed it. So tonight we're giving the Dodgers the starting pitcher advantage in the World Series. Okay. Yeah. So I am giving the Dodgers a slight advantage in the bullpen only because I'm not going to say overuse, but because the bullpen has been used more. I think Varland's good. I think Hoffman is good, but the question is, are you going to have to go to him early? Is Savage out of the strike zone? Is he getting hit? If someone like, Scherzer goes in and only is able to throw 3 2/3 innings, then not only is that game affected, but the next game's affected.
Well, in a situation like that, you're probably losing the game, so you can go to other guys. You can go to your non-leverage guys, and that's what I was talking about getting other guys in there and having so many pitchers on your pitching staff. I'm going to give the bullpen. I understand what you're saying, and I don't disagree with you. And if this formula for the Dodgers continues to work, which means your starting pitcher goes out there and gives you 7 innings, you're only covering 6 outs. Yeah, then probably the Dodgers can mix and match their way through it. But the offense for the Toronto Blue Jays, what they should be doing is, even if you don't score any runs, get their pitch count up, get them out of the baseball game and get to that soft underbelly of the Dodgers staff. So I'm going to call the bullpen as a push. Okay. I lean a little bit more towards the Toronto Blue Jays because I think they've had more success, but you're right. They have pitched more. Now they're rested. That doesn't, what they've done doesn't really matter.
Good point.
But, they definitely have had to carry more of the weight than the Dodgers bullpen. So I'm going to say bullpen is going to be a push.
Okay. No, I like that. And the thing is, though, you also come at this from an experienced mindset. I mean, you also come at this
Yeah.
from you train pitchers, you train athletes on a daily basis. Now, the offenses are I mean, these are two spectacular offenses. If you're a baseball fan, these are the guys you want taking swings. I mean, even in that game 7, you've got to tip your hat to the Mariners slugger Cal Riley and Julio Rodriguez, who were trying to single-handedly win the game or win that series, lead them to World Series. And so they weren't really slouches, but man, when you've got Guerrero, you've got Springer. I mean, Guerrero's hitting 442. Springer has reignited his reputation as Mr. October of the I guess of the 22 or the 2000s, right? But you also have like Clement. You have other guys that are role players on this team, that this team can bang out some runs. And I mean, I'm looking at what they're doing. The regular season, they struck out just 17.88% of the time. In the playoffs, they're striking out only 14.8%.
Yeah. Well, so, and you got to remember, they just faced Seattle Mariners pitching staff, and that is a very, very good swing and miss pitching staff, and they still just didn't strike out. So that bodes well for the Toronto Blue Jays. Now, listen, the Dodgers lineup is no slouch in any way, shape, or form. You got several MVPs in there, all that kind of stuff. But when you look at what they've done in the postseason, Guerrero is having one of the all-time best postseasons in baseball, in Major League Baseball. So, he has been an absolute beast and just squaring the ball up like crazy. Slugging percentage OPS just off the chart at over 1,400. Like you said, hitting 442. And to tell you the truth, that's a hard 442 because he's hit a couple balls right on the screws, right at guys also. So that number could be higher. Offensively, I got to give it to Toronto right now, just because they don't strike out. So you got a LA Dodgers pitching staff, especially rotation, that has a lot of swing and miss, facing a lineup that doesn't have a lot of swing and miss. And I think that's going to be the fascinating inside edge to keep an eye on during this postseason is, can the Dodgers get the swing and miss, or are the Toronto Blue Jays going to be able to continue to put the ball in play? But offensively, I'm going to say the Toronto Blue Jays, with how they've been swinging the bat this postseason, and it's really been their whole lineup. To tell you the truth, the bottom of their lineup has been fire. True. That was a big problem in the Mariners series with the Mariners, because the Mariners' bottom of the lineup did absolutely nothing. So, when you have a 1-9 lineup that's producing and has swung the bat well and has a lot of confidence, that makes it very difficult. Even if you got big swing and miss stuff, that makes it very difficult for a pitcher to navigate through that lineup, 2 or 3 times.
Exactly. And, Houston's seen their share of success with guys in the bottom of the lineup. And in a postseason, it's not always about the headliners. I mean, even though Ohtani has that 3 home run game, outside of
he had done nothing prior to that. But that's not true.
Anything.
The game before, he did have a triple in his last at bat. So confidence was a little high. Prior to that, Ohtani really hadn't done anything.
But it was really Freddie Freeman, who really, I think, probably should have won that.
Well, I mean, the thing is, there was no standout, and when you have Ohtani, have all-time historic game, pitching a shutout through 6, 10 strikeouts, dominating on the mound, and then hitting 3 home runs, listen, if this series went, 6 or 7 games, then Ohtani probably doesn't win it. That's just one good game. But when there was only 4 games and the Dodgers sweep, and nobody else, I don't want to say hadn't done anything, but there was no big standout. To tell you the truth, I thought that it very well could have been a 4-person MVP for the National League Championship Series, and just give it to the whole rotation.
I remember you saying that.
Because that's how well those guys pitched, and that was the number one reason they won, was because the starting pitching went deep in the games. They dominated. If they don't do that, who knows what happens?
Exactly. And you know what's not a swing and miss is
What's
when
that?
you go to ramshirts.com and you use the code B2B at checkout, you get 10% off your order of 2 shirts or more. Back to the bullpen shirt right here. Mike and I are wearing it, excited about this. And this deal lasts all the way through Christmas. So
Nice.
go ahead and do your Christmas shopping early. I mean, why not? Look, the reason why I say that, they already got Christmas stuff in Lowe's and Home
Oh
Depot.
my gosh.
It's insane. The Christmas stuff is
And
overtaken
it was up.
Halloween.
It was up like last week.
Yeah, and it's not even Halloween yet. And I'm like, wait, you overtook the skeletons with the Santas, and it's insane. And I might say this, that everybody's got to make sure they stay tuned to us, Mike.
That's right.
Because we've got some exciting things that are happening.
We do.
Having some good conversations outside of Back to the Bullpen. And whenever we are ready and we
will say this, Back to the Bullpen is not going away. It's not going anywhere, but we just got some things in the work that's pretty exciting to us. I think it'll be exciting to you guys. I think it'll be exciting to a lot of people across the nation, not just here in Houston.
Yes, it will be. It will be. It's going to be a fun ride. So let's recap real quick. We're giving the starting pitching advantage to the Los Angeles Dodgers.
For the Dodgers, yep.
You gave the bullpen a push. I gave it to the Blue Jays.
Nope, you said the Dodgers. You said slightly to the Dodgers.
Oh, I did say to the Dodgers.
Yeah, because they didn't pitch. They haven't pitched much.
See, after what you said, I want to go with Blue Jays, but I'm gonna stick with the Dodgers on this. And offense, I think we both agree that we think that the Blue Jays have the advantage offensively. And I think when it comes down to it, like you said, it's a pretty evenly matched series.
Yeah.
And anybody can get hot in this series. I mean, Ernie Clements can come out and be the World Series MVP. Max Muncy can be the World Series MVP. Heck, Kiki Hernandez. I'm just saying, you never know.
It could be anybody.
It could be.
And a lot of times it's not the headliners. It's not the marquee names, because those guys are the ones that you put the asterisks beside and say, okay, Freddie Freeman, that cat's not going to beat me. He is not. We are not going to let him do anything against us. And what does that do? The guys behind him, it puts ducks on the pond. It gives you more of an opportunity. If you're not going to face Freddie, you're not going to face Vladdy. You got to face somebody. Somebody's got to do something behind him. And a lot of times it's that that fifth hole, that sixth hole or seventh hole hitter that's hitting day in and game in and game out with runners on base, and ends up driving in a bunch of runs.
Yeah, definitely. And the Blue Jays, we've got to take note that they went down 0-2 in the ALCS.
They did. Yeah, they're battle tested. There's no doubt.
And they came back down 3-2 and won the last 2 games. So
they lost 2 at home, went on the road and won the next 2, and then went down 3-2.
Right.
And went back home where they had just lost 2 games just a few games before, and they take care of business.
Yeah, I mean, and I remember back in 23, as painful as it is to bring it back, in 23, because I was at game 5 of the ALCS. Recently got the honor of interviewing Mauricio Dubon. And Mauricio Dubon said when they went to Arlington, they knew that they were going to win those 3 games. He said, we just knew it. We got on the plane. We knew when we went to Arlington, we're going to win those 3 games. We're going to come back and we control the series. Yeah. He said, now, if you would have told me that we were going to go back and lose 2 in a row, I would have said there's no way this team loses 2 in a row. But right here, Anderson Munoz comes in late and he says, LA back to back. Interesting with the Eagles emoji, or the Eagles Abby there. So maybe he's a East Coast, West Coast guy. He likes both coast. but this is going to be an exciting series. Mike, you are going to be on MLB Sirius XM,
MLB Network Radio on
Tell
Sirius
everybody where they
XM.
can hear you after each game.
So they brought back my old show, which is called the Round Trip Show. It's post-game analysis. They brought it back for the postseason. I did several games for the League Championship Series. I've got 3 games in the World Series. So I will definitely be on Monday and Tuesday night. That's game 3 and game 4. And if this series goes to a game 6, I will also be on Friday night. So 3 of the games here in the World Series, I will be on post-game analysis. So it's going to come on after the game. But yeah, you can find me there on MLB Network Radio on Sirius XM channel 89.
That's awesome. And just, make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Make sure you subscribe to us on Spotify. Pretty much wherever you get your podcast, you can find Back to the Bullpen. Again, Back to the Bullpen shirts. Hey, you know what? It's not a team specific shirt. Even if you're a fan of another team,
that's right.
You can still get a Back to the Bullpen shirt, baby. So check it out, the QR code there, or go to ramshirts.com. Again, I'll give you that promo code one more time, B2B at checkout for 10% off your order of 2 shirts or more. And Mark said he'll throw in some goodies. It's Halloween season. He'll give you treats, no tricks, no gimmicks. He's just going to send you some free stuff. So, Mike, this has been great. Thank you for stopping by.
Wait.
What?
We're not getting out of here yet. No. We got to make predictions.
Oh, I thought you didn't like predictions, and that's why I didn't want to go there. Okay. So, Mike, tell me, what is your prediction for the World Series right now? And what do we put? Are we writing anything on it? Is there anything?
Well, I mean, this is being recorded, so it's there.
Okay.
And I'm sure our fans will hold us to it.
Yes.
This is a tough one, because what I want. I want 7 games. Regardless of who wins, I want 7 games. I don't think it goes 7. I think that if this is a short series, so 5 games or fewer, I think the Dodgers win it. I think that means the offense is just taking over, or I'm sorry, the rotation has done what they've continued to do. So short series, I think it's Dodgers. I think if this goes longer, the Toronto Blue Jays get much, much, much closer. But I still think that it's probably the Dodgers. I'll say 55 to 45%.
Okay.
So not, it's not 70-30, 80-20. I give the nod to the Dodgers, but not by all that much.
So if it goes in 5 games, like you said, it's Dodgers. If it goes in 6 games, it's probably the Dodgers. I think for the Blue Jays to win this, it has to go all 7 games. And I think the Blue Jays take care of business, because even if they split in Toronto, I think they can steal one in LA. That brings them back to Toronto. And I just think this crowd and the electricity and just what they have in Canada. So the Dodgers have got to go out with a killer instinct in game 1 and game 2 and try to bury the Cardinals as much as they can. Because I think when you go from city to city, I really think in baseball series, momentum doesn't necessarily carry over like 2 days. Sometimes it does, but I'm going to go with the prediction that I want to happen. And I want the Blue Jays to win this in 7 games. So I'm picking Blue Jays
in 7. Okay.
And I'm not being biased at all.
Not at all.
I'm not wearing my heart on my sleeve. But this is in honor of my Mimi, my grandmother from Merritt, British Columbia, and all my cousins and uncles and everybody up in the north.
I did not know that you had Canadian.
Yes, my whole family on my dad's side.
So much.
Hey, they're all lumberjacks, dude.
What do I mean by that? I'm not going to tell you.
Hey, Canada is America's hat.
We love our Canadians neighbors up north.
But and I will say this, and I do think it's cool that that the manager, that George and all them, they say, we want this for our country. Like, they've really taken on the role of being representatives.
Well, I mean, it's the
of that
only
country.
team that has a
Yeah. So
country behind it.
yeah. So, someone goes, Toronto win and piss off the big boss.
There you go. There you go.
Well, hey, you know what? Regardless, this is going to be a great series. And I'm excited. I know we will be back next week.
Yes, we will.
Just be looking, click the notifications again. Stay with us. We got some big news coming. So we're just we got to wait to, give you more details, but we're excited about the prospects of what the future holds for Backs of the Bullpen and a baseball podcast that you can't find anywhere else.
Hey, it's going to be fun the next 9-10 days, hopefully. But this is going to be Back to the Bullpen's growing. We're going to be here, so the changes aren't that we're going away. You'll just have to wait and see what we got in store.
That's right. I mean, we got winter meetings. We got all kinds of stuff to talk about this offseason. So, from myself, from Mike, for everybody here Back to the Bullpen, go to ramshirts.com, check out our shirt B2B to get 10% off, 2 shirts or more. Y'all have a good one, and I'll never really say it again. Go Blue Jays.
Adios.
I'm looking to the bullpen to bring my lefty in. Keep the lead and make your team look pedestrian. It's in your wheelhouse, we'll swing for the fence. You know it's money around here, man, I ain't talking expense. Strike one, heat low in the way, you can't hit it. You know you wanna start a rally, but you better forget it. Strike 2, off speed, same spot, your car looking. Get ready at the plate, this time you're not cooking. Strike 3, swinging out of the zone. You ain't even touch it first. Tell me how they gonna drive you home. Walking back, looking like we ain't